The back there. Does anybody want to move forward to the front? If you're a little bit about there. I don't bite, I promise, until it gets about halfway through and I start to get hungry. Okay, there we go. Because there might be a few. So we know it's St. Martin, and there might be a few latecomers strolling in the back there. Okay, everybody comfortable? Fantastic. Okay, well, thank you very much for coming. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Steadman. I've been in St. Martin a little while now, and I love the place. The only thing that I'm a little bit kind of hesitant on is the heat. And I think even the mosquitoes now are in the pools with pina coladas because it's just too hot for everyone. So I have to say I love this place. I think it's a fantastic place to have families, to start businesses, and to realize your dreams. So my theme of the evening is very much about being who you are. I'm the author of the book Connect to Authentic Success. So authentic is also a theme that's going to run through this evening. And I want my hope for you this evening is for you to leave a little bit more inspired, a little bit more positive energy going out there, and that my jokes are terrible, so I'll just tell you that now. But hopefully you will enjoy this evening. And if you've got any questions, then there'll be a Q&A after the main talk, which will be about 20-25 minutes. Then there'll be a little prize draw. So for those of you that haven't put your name in the bowl with Jane just outside here, please go and do that at some point after the Q&A. And then I'll be doing the book signing. We've got some books in the back here, and I've got some bookmarks and things to give away. So don't be shy at the end. Okay? So a lot of people said to me, what was the reason behind the book? You know, why did you write the book? And a few years ago, before I got to the lovely St. Martin, I was in the UK, and things started to go wrong. But before I go down there, I just want to, I don't know if Lydia's heading off, I just wanted to say a very quick thank you to Lydia, who is round the corner somewhere. You there, Lydia? She's just... Okay, I do want to say thank you very much for Top Carrot for hosting the event. Also to Josvik, who's come specially from Anguilla to film the event this evening. And also to Her Honourable Prime Minister Sarah Westcott-Williams for taking some time out of a very busy schedule to come and hear what authentic success can add to St. Martin. So thank you for coming. So let me go back to my little story. Why the book? And also the definition of authentic success. A few years ago, I was running a very successful business consultancy in London. Didn't have children, so we were getting invited to canapé parties with champagne, probably 4 or 5 nights a week, because part of what we did was events. So it was a very nice lifestyle. Then, as some of you know, end of 2008, things started to move with the economy, especially in Europe. And we went from being very successful in a space of 3 months to almost losing everything. So we had to move house, we had to leave the business, we had to leave London, and then on top of that we got burgled. So there was a big sign that there's a life change coming. So an opportunity to St. Martin came. But to go back even further than that, in 2008 I was in a group of people that were doing goals together. How many people here have heard of goals? Yeah? How many people have ever had a dream or a goal? Yeah, I know some people are going, I came here in a boat and I was only going to stay 6 months. Yeah, St. Martin has that effect on you, and my original plan was for 6 months, and I have to tell you, when I first arrived here, I was a new mum, 6-week-old baby, screamed on the plane all the way here. My husband came up before me, and I remember when they opened the door of that Air France plane, the air just went, woo! And you know when you open the oven and it's on full and it kind of goes like that? That's what it felt like. And the first thing I said to my husband is, there's no way I can live here. I can't live. It's just too hot. And it took me 3 months to get used to the heat, 3 months to have the courage to drive here. I'm on Skype to my friends in London going, you won't believe it, there's goats in the road here. You know? So back in Europe, my friends have 2 images of me. There's the one image that I'm living in a $15 million villa surrounded by staff sipping pina coladas, and then the other half is of me living on a beach in a little wooden hut, being with nature. I don't think there seems to be a middle ground for people that haven't visited St Martin, so I keep encouraging they have to come here and spend some money. So hopefully this next year, as Air France have got some very good fares, we might see them. So back to the story. Basically lost everything, and at that point I remember I was 7.5 months pregnant, and I was on my knees in tears going, what do I do now? I'm about to become a mum. Our income has just disappeared. What do I do? And it was in that moment when, you know, you're in ultimate despair that it just said, you need to write a book. And I'm like, where did that come from? What's that going to do for me right now, you know? But anyway, these ideas came, so I wrote them down. I didn't know quite where it came from, even now. But I had these 7 steps that just came to me. I wrote clear chapter titles, and I thought, okay, I'll worry about that later. Then I had my first child, and as you know, for those, how many of you here have children? Yeah? Okay. I'm just going to, there's a few French people in the audience, so I'm just going to translate that last bit. Combien de gens ici avaient des enfants? Quelques-unes, ok. Donc avec des enfants, c'est pas toujours facile de faire des choses. Hein. J'ai commencé à créer un livre avec 2 bébés. Donc ce n'était pas facile. But in 3 years, I had a goal. I was going to write the book, and I was going to help people that were in a situation like I was to be able to come back. So over the 3 years, between having the 2 children, I started to write bits of this book. And I thought, well, if I can do it, anybody can. So that was really the theme behind the book. How many of you here have had challenges with anything, anything that you really wanted to achieve, whether it was coming here by boat or... Yeah.
Everybody,
yeah. Yeah. So we're all going to face something, but the thing that you find with that is, I found that there was an expectation to be perfect. When everything failed, I was like, okay, I'm a failure. Where do I come back from here? And people are very quick to judge. And you feel, even when I became a parent, I had to be the perfect mum. I felt this pressure from somewhere to be the perfect mum, to be back in a size UK 12 within 2 months of having the baby. And even some of my guy friends as well, they felt they had to be the perfect provider, the perfect father. There's a lot of pressure with advertising and everything that we have to be perfect. So the thing I wanted to get across in the book is that why can't we just be who we are? So that I found was really humbling for me to go, okay, I don't have anything now. I don't have the big suave place in London. I don't have anything to show. It's about me. Who am I? So I took that time out, because some of us are so busy with children, career, running St Martin, to take time out and go, hang on a minute, what do I really want? So one of the first steps in the book is, what do you really want? Have you actually taken some time out to do it? Because when I say to people, what do you really want to do? And you look them right in the eye and you say, what do you really want to do? They're not always sure. So Sarah, if I may ask you, what made, it might be a long question, what was within you to say, this is what I want to do, I'm going to be Prime Minister of St Martin? What was the kind of deciding factor? Was it something that you knew from kind of being young? What was the thing for you that made you want to go down that route?
That's a long story, Amanda.
Okay.
Too long for tonight.
Give us the mini version for some of us that want to get to know you a bit better, that may not have met you before.
No, it was not something that I grew up knowing that I wanted to be. Mm-hmm. I think it came because of my interest in public service, and as such, that's where I started, and it sort of transitioned into politics, and as politics evolved, here's where I am.
Want to help people to make change. Yeah, and it was the same for me. I went back, I don't know, we're going back to the late 80s, 90s. Back then, it was very important they were saying to speak languages, because we were joining in Europe, we were joining the Europe. So it was very important to speak French. C'était très important de parler français. Donc j'étais poussée dans l'endroit d'étudier le commerce et les langues, parce que tout le monde dit ça fait l'argent. Il y a l'argent dans ça. Donc fais des études pour cet endroit. So I was pushed into business and language. What I really wanted to do is I wanted to go off and do drama and like be a star and get an Oscar, and I wanted to like paint. I'd have been in here like doing all this art, beautiful art. That's what I wanted to do. But all the careers advisors went, no, you can't get into university with an art A-level. And so those people that were advising me at the time changed my path. How many people here might have listened to someone who changed their path? Yeah. And the other question is, did it go on the path that you wanted it to go down? No. Okay. So this is your opportunity. If you're not on the right one, it's never too late. One of my clients is 72. Yeah, and she came to me a year ago, and everything's changed. Even at 72, you can still go off and do something that you want. It's never too late. So I went off down the route of business, went up to university, did the languages. I have to say it was very handy in meeting a husband. My husband is French. And many years ago in London, I'd had a little couple of drinks, not a lot, a few, and I could hear this French accent at the beginning of the queue. So being quite bold, I went and had a chat with him. And 5 weeks later, he moved in. So languages are very useful. So if any of you don't speak English, you don't speak French, get out there and learn another language. It's very handy if you're single. So that's just an aside. So languages were very useful. But what was very funny was, as my life went on, I went into corporate. I was on the radio this morning with Sock, and he said, what made you happy going back in time? I traveled the world, j'ai voyagé beaucoup, et le premier boulot que j'avais, la dame m'a dit que, est-ce que vous voulez être payé pour parler avec des gens et de lui amener ou manger une déjeuner? J'ai dit, bien sûr, pas de problème. Après ça, j'ai gagné 3 fois plus. J'ai fait 3 fois plus d'argent dans les premiers ans parce que j'ai amusé très très bien dans mon boulot. Vous comprenez? Oui. So my first job, I came back from Bangkok on the Sunday. I started there on the Thursday. And she said, Amanda, you get a desk and a phone and a computer, and you just talk to people all day long, and you invite them for lunch, and at the end of the lunch you go, oh, would you like some temporary staff? And that was all I had to do. And within a year I tripled my salary because I just got paid to do what I love. Almost like real estate, Karen. I'm on almost like real. So I did very well, and I was very happy. But after 7 years in the corporate world, I struggled with authority because I did feel that some of my superiors didn't have the same values as me. Anybody worked for anyone that doesn't have the same values as you? Yeah. Right? So it got a little bit difficult, and I felt that I wasn't being me, and this is where the battle with the authentic bit comes in. So eventually I had the courage to leave. It took me 3 years of saving, and on the side I began a coaching business. I trained as a coach 12 years ago, and I started to do it at the weekends, running courses, evenings, and I thought I quite like this. And then I worked for a franchise company that taught me how to succeed in business. So I got paid 4 years to learn how to run a successful business, and after 4 years I went, I can do this myself. But it did take a lot of courage because I was being paid almost a 6-figure US dollar salary, and it was safe, and I had a father that was in the forces, so it was very safe to have that career. But I did it, and I went off to do my own business, and I remember I didn't earn anything, I think, for the first 3 or 4 months, and at that point I'm like, what am I going to do? There's no money coming in. But eventually it turned round, and we started to make a lot of money because we were honest, we did what we said we were going to do, and we were being ourselves, so the money just came. So when the economy hit us, I was really baffled because I thought, well, nothing's changed, I haven't changed. But sometimes in life, even if you're still being yourself, life will come and show you a completely different direction. So my question to you is, when you hear that positive voice in your head saying, are you really happy? Don't you want to be doing this? My question to you tonight is that you're listening to that voice. Because sometimes it knocks for quite a while until you listen. And it took me in a relationship 3 years, in my work 3 years. So are you listening? Because there's the other side of what's going on in your head, which is you can't do it. You're too old. Don't be crazy. St. Martin's a small island. And let me tell you, that's rubbish. I wrote this book. I started it in St. Martin when I arrived 3 years ago. I did everything by internet. I self-published it from my desk in St. Martin and became an Amazon #1 bestseller. So, because I do talk to lots of youth here and people who live here, and they're like, well, St Martin's small. And I'm like, with the internet, it's a level playing field. If you want to sell jewelry, if you want to sell your ideas, if you want to sell your book, a lot of you are travelers. People want to hear travel stories. You could have a blog up there. Everything could be done with internet. Okay? So there's no excuses. Plus, in St Martin, we have an influx of tourists. We have Americans. There are government schemes. There's all kind of ways you can get involved to do something that you believe in. There was Nicole DeWeaver here earlier, who runs the Art Saves Lives Foundations. Again, she had a dream in her mind, and she's made it a reality. So anyone that's here, wherever you are, wherever you're from, you can follow your dreams. The other thing that I want to touch on is some of us are working really hard, doing something that we may or may not love. Since I've developed doing what I love, which is writing, other projects on the side, being around my children, I found that the more I'm doing something that I really love, things just kind of flow. Any of you experienced that when you're in somewhere that you're doing something that you really love, and things just kind of fall into place? You meet the right person at the coffee bar, you get a check that you weren't expecting. Things kind of fall into place, and this is a huge sign going, you're going the right direction. Listen, okay? I know some of you here, I recognise faces, so I know some of you have actually bought the book. Just to give you a heads up of some of the things that are covered, as I said at the very beginning, number 1, know what you want. That's the first chapter. Number 2, have a vision of where you're going. How many of you here have been in boats and you don't know what your destination is? Yeah? You have an idea of where you're going. You know you've got to get to that port over there, right? Okay? So if I'm equating that to what a lot of people are doing in their lives, they're working in whatever job they're doing, and they know they've got to pay the bills and everything. They don't have a vision of where they're going. So the analogy I like to use is you've got an idea of where the port is, and no matter how, the wind's going to blow you off course sometimes. Sometimes if you're with Liat, obviously you can go through various different directions until you get to your destination. For those of you that are air travellers, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so you're going to go off course, but don't worry, because if it's where you're meant to go, you are going to come back on course. But the point is here to have a vision. So the second part of the book is having an end step. Now, when I did that picture board back in 2008, I put a picture of a boat on it, the Power Speed boats, and a picture of the Caribbean. It was a Sandals Resort advert. And a few other bits and pieces, and a picture of a baby girl, me and my husband, holding my friend's baby girl right in the centre. Within 6 months of doing that picture, I'd been to St Martin on a cruise, and within a year of that vision board going up, I was living in St Martin, and I'd had a baby girl. I could talk 2 hours about what's come out of pictures that I've done. Even for the launch of this book, I had a picture of me stood with a Amazon #1 bestseller sticker by my head, and I had it on my board by my desk when I was writing. Now, there was a lot of effort that went into that, to the campaign. It wasn't easy, okay? It was 20 hours a day for like 6 weeks. But the point is, I did it, and I had the vision in my mind. Now, I'm pretty sure that you've got some visions for St Martin, and would you say some of the things that you've envisioned have actually come true now? The things that you've envisaged over the last few years?
Yes, they have.
Yeah, so it's important to have that clear strategy in your mind for the end step. Now, people say to me, but man, I don't know how to do it, and do I have to do like a real plan and know every single step? Yeah. The answer is no. Now, in the book, it does give you a step-by-step if you're a step-by-step person, okay? But what I found as you get towards the end of this book is once you start to get in flow and you raise your energy or your vibration level, you start to attract things. Anyone here heard of The Secret?
Yes.
The book The Secret, yeah? So you're aware of the concept of that. The Secret is about how you can attract things with your mind. Chapter 4 and 5 is about using your mind to visualize what you want and attracting what you want. For me, I'm a very visual person, so what's worked for me is pictures of everything. I can write goals all day long, and that does help, but because I'm a visual person, I seem to manifest things visually. And even just the last year, just little things like, I could really do with we needed a unit to hide all the children's toys, because it was a mess. Children's toys everywhere. And I put out there, okay, I'd love a fantastic unit that would fit in our living room about this big. 2 days later, Per, the back of the room there in the white shirt, said, Amanda, he's from Sweden, Amanda, I have a lovely unit, would you like it? Went to see it, the dimensions were exactly what we needed to fit in that space. Again, it's just an example. When I thought about it, I went, it would be fantastic. Thought about it, visualised what I wanted, then I completely let the attachment to it go. I thought, if I get it, great. If I don't, great. And it turned up. Now, some of you here probably wanting something really, really badly. Just try and experiment this week, okay? Go, do you know what? I don't mind if I get it. I don't mind if I don't. See if you get it, okay? Just do a little experiment this week and see if you get it, okay? The other thing I've learned that comes through the book as well is all of us have emotions. We're human beings, yeah? Things annoy us, things make us sad, things make us happy. If you can get a hold on those emotions on a daily basis and stay in what I call the happy zone as much as possible, your life just works. So I'm going to do a little exercise with you now. You're happy to do something that you may or may not have done before? You don't have to touch anyone. Okay, no touching anyone. You need to get your wallets out, till the end. Okay, I want you to just close your eyes. I want everybody to close their eyes for a second. Okay, and I want you to think about someone or something or a situation that's really, I'm not going to swear, peed you off, annoyed you. Yeah, this person or this situation has really upset you. Okay? I'm going to give you a lesson to be able to let go of your feelings and emotions in like a few minutes. Pour les Français, pensez à une situation, une personne qui a vous gêné, qui a vous perturbé. Une situation, une personne, fermez vos yeux et pensez à cette personne ou cette situation. Ok? Pensez à ça et sentir les sentiments. Essayez de sentir le sentiment de colère ou... Vous comprenez? Oui, ok, bien. Okay, so for the English speakers, I want you to repeat in your head now. If it's a person you need to let go of, I let go of disapproving of the person's name, yeah? I let go of disapproving of the person's name. Okay? If it's a situation, I need you to let go of disapproving of the situation and have that as a picture in your head of the situation. So let go of disapproving of. Let go disapproving of. Let go disapproving of. Let go of disapproving of. Let go of disapproving of. Let go of disapproving of. Ok, maintenant avec les Français, pensez à ce genre, sa situation et se rendre vos sentiments. Qu'est-ce que c'est en français? Mimi, let go, lâcher. Lâcher prise. Lâcher de la colère, les sentiments, lâcher. Lâcher le sentiment. Forgive, qu'est-ce que c'est en français, forgive? Pardonner, lâcher, lâcher. Lâcher le sentiment, okay? So for those of you, I want you to now think of the person, situation, the English speakers, and say, send them approval. Okay, so send that person or situation approval. I'm going to use the other word, love. Send them love, no matter how much they've annoyed you. It could be a family member that's really hurt you. It could be somebody at work. It could be a situation that's really hurt you emotionally. Okay, and I want you to send approval to it. Send it love and send it more love. Envoyez l'amour. Envoyez l'amour. Envoyez l'amour. And now when I say to you, send it love, in your head I want you to say yes. Okay, just in your head, yes. Send them approval. Send it approval. Send it love. Send it love. Send it love. Send it approval. Send it love. Send it approval. And what you should be able to feel now is that emotion is leaving your body. You're being able to control that feeling. It does take a little bit of practice. I'm just giving you a taster. Okay? So basically, in your day, if somebody's really annoying you, like when I get stuck behind people in cashiers, I always seem to pick the queue with the longest queue, yeah? What I've started to do now is I just go, I send you approval. I send you approval. And the great thing that's been working this week is I've been sending it ahead in the traffic, and I've been able to get, no, I'm not joking, I'm not joking. Seriously, I started on last Tuesday. I've driven from Bay Netley all the way through to Coal Bay to pick up the kids from creche. No traffic. No traffic. And I'm like, it's 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock on a Friday. It's always rammed. It's always rammed in Marigot. Seriously. So another little exercise for you, okay? All right. Try on the traffic. It's you might think, oh, it's a little bit weird, but practice with it. It's just a little tool that I use with clients, and it seems to work really well. So, don't matter the power of your mind. I was on the radio station with Sock this morning, and the analogy I use is that we are all our own radio station. Whether you know it or not, and quantum physics has actually proven this now, we are all sending out signals and receiving them. So if you're working with someone in the office and you're going, I don't like the way she does that. I don't like, but in the fact you're like, yeah. She's going to pick it up. It's an energy thing, okay? We're sending and receiving signals all the time. So if you try that technique that I've just given you in your office, just watch and see what happens, okay? So your mind is a very powerful thing, and when you connect that with your heart, once you've figured out what you really love and what you're happy doing, the world is your oyster. And now it took me almost 37 years to figure it out. And I know there's some younger people here. Don't need to wait that long, okay? You can do it a lot sooner, which is why I wrote this. And I'm going to be working with Nicole DeWeaver on getting this into the hands of some youngsters as well. So they don't have to wait 37 years. Yeah, just building on what I said to the Prime Minister, some of us you already know your purpose. People like Michael Jackson, other politicians, other celebrities, some of them know what they want to do. How many of you here knew exactly what you wanted to do since you were like 7? You knew. Oh, wow. Do you know how lucky you guys are? Do you know how lucky you are? I didn't really kind of get that until kind of mid-30s. If you know that, then you're halfway there. But there's a lot of people that don't, and that's why they need to take some time out and figure out what they want to do. I didn't, so that's why I wrote the book, to figure it all out. The other thing that I say in the bonus chapter at the end is something called the chocolate effect. And the chocolate effect is about, as you're coming to the end of that exercise there, when you do that often, you kind of get to that feeling of kind of happy, chilled out, without the use of any alcohol, drugs, or anything else. And the chocolate effect for me is just about being in that happy moment. How many of you here have read The Power of Now? That book is by a guy called Eckhart Tolle, and it's about living in the moment, because what we've done as human beings over the years is we've forgotten that now is the only time we have, and we get all concerned about what we did in the past, and we're so worried about our future, we get stuck in those two poles. If any of you have children, you know that when you have children, they bring you kicking and screaming right into the now. So the chocolate effect is about doing stuff that makes you happy on a regular basis and being able to access those feelings, those emotions you're probably just starting to feel at the end of that exercise. So when you're next doing something you love, see how you can take that into other parts of your life. You are totally in control all the time. The analogy I like to use is Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. Yeah, she goes on that big quest. Yeah, so metaphorically, we're on the search for courage. We're on the search for, you got to help me out on this one. Do you remember the 3 characters from Wizard of Oz? One's looking for courage, the lion, the Tin Man.
Intelligence. Heart and a brain.
Heart and a brain. Yeah, Scarecrow wants the brain. Okay, so these are all things that are out, to a certain extent, are outside of us. Yeah, so we go searching like Dorothy. We go off to the Wizard of Oz. We think, that maybe getting, plastic surgery for some people, or we have to go off and be a film star, whatever it is. We think it's external to us. What Dorothy's trying to tell us is that a lot of the answers are already within you. And as I said at the beginning, sometimes we're so busy listening to the noise, we're listening to the radio in the car, we watch the TV, we're talking, we're never alone. And the one thing I've really experienced the last 3 years is when you have that quiet time, the answers come. So if you have to make a life decision, spend some time in quiet. If you have to make a different policy or a different plan, go in the quiet. 9 times out of 10, I've found that the answer just comes without me having to go externally. So it's something that I found really, really useful. Okay. I'm just trying to think of how to translate that to French. Avec le reste des informations, si vous avez des questions, je vais traduire les points principaux après. On peut parler ensemble? Oui, parce qu'il y a... j'ai du mal à expliquer cette dernière partie en français. Vous comprenez? Okay, merci. So just to really summarize, the 3 keys that I want to get across tonight is, number 1, no matter what your situation is, no matter what your weight is, no matter what you think is right or wrong with yourself, you are absolutely perfect the way that you are. And when I work with people, when they get that, then everything else falls in place. And because we spend so much time running around, getting the car, getting the house, making the money, which I know is important these days, none of us can function without the money. You know, you got to be happy doing it. Unfortunately, I lost 2 friends this year. I lost a friend, Patrick, who was killed in Zurich 2 weeks ago, 46, 3 children. And also, do any of you know Christine de la Cruz? Yes, so, you know, we lost her at the beginning of the year. She was supposed to edit the book, but unfortunately, as we know, she didn't get to it. So the other thing I wanted to say the evening is this evening, I just wanted to say a little hi to both of them who aren't with us, because I just feel that, you know, this information was for them as well. So I just wanted to mention that. The other thing is, go for your dreams. There's a lot of people here I talk to go, you know, I want to have a flower shop, or I really do want to do more acting, but I don't get time. Whatever it is, we don't know when our time's up. Okay? On 9/11, I was in Hawaii with a motivational speaker, American one called Tony Robbins, and we were all together. There was 2,000 of us in the room, and 150 of the people at that seminar were from New York. And one girl stood up. And she said, I just want to tell the story because I want to inspire you guys and make sure that you live and you laugh and you play. And she said that she had a boyfriend that worked in the World Trade Tower. Her first boyfriend was killed in a car accident. Second boyfriend worked at the World Trade Center, and she was still getting over the first boyfriend. He'd already asked her to marry him 2 or 3 times, and she said no. And he said, if you go on that seminar to Hawaii, it's over, baby. That's, you know, it's done. So she said, look, I've got to do this for me. I need to find out who I am. I need to do this. So she went off to Hawaii, and she was in the room with all of us. And she said, because Hawaii was 5 hours behind New York, she said the night before 9/11, she phoned him to say, look, I've rethought about everything. I've figured out who I am. I know that I want to marry you. I'm sorry I've been dilly-dallying. I do want to marry you, and I love you. Let's do it as soon as I get back. Then she said she got up 9/11 morning. She had a missed call and a voice message on her phone saying, hi, sweetie. I'm so happy that you decided to marry me. I love you forever. But there's fire coming up the stairwells. I'm not going to make it out. I love you. Phone went dead. And she was there wasn't a dry eye in the house. Well, 2,000 people, oh, you know. But it just brings home. There's things we don't know are going to happen here, St. Martin, anywhere. So make sure that you know people that you do know that the people that you know. I hope that they know that you love them. And whatever you're here to do, it took me 37 years to realise I'm a writer. I'm a communicator. Part-time actress. Still got to work on that bit. But I'm a messenger, and it's not about me. It's not about the book. This is about you. This information, you take it and run with it. My little message here is just that you're important. You're perfect the way you are. Go for your dreams. And the last point is, listen to yourself. You have all the answers. I'm just here as a guide. This is kind of directing you the right way, but you have all the answers. And my mission here, I'm in St. Martin for a reason. I'm here to help anybody that wants to listen, whether they're 10, whether they're 14, whether they're 72. because I'm pretty happy. I have a fantastic life. I have a wonderful husband out there that's been babysitting my 2 girls. He's an absolute gem, and I feel very blessed to be in St Martin. It's a very big island for opportunity. I'm very grateful to Liddy, who supported me here. I'm very grateful for all of you being here. I trust that something I've said is connected with you. If not, I hope that my energy is connected with you in some way, because I wrote this book for you and for everybody that wants to take that information and run with it, because life's too short to be miserable. So go out there and be happy and do what you love, because when you're doing that, everybody around you picks up on that, and you inspire them, and that ripple effect goes out. So that's my purpose. That's what I'm here to do. So I trust that I've got some of that over to you tonight. I'm a little bit nervous because we've got the Prime Minister here. Okay, so some of the rude jokes I didn't actually tell, so I have to tell that the next one. And I kept my language clean. But I'm very grateful that the Prime Minister came. You should have seen me when the message came in. She was coming. I was like, so excited because, you know, she does have the power to change things, and I hope that something I've said has instilled some ideas in her. So I'm here, and I'm your messenger and your conduit if you need me. Okay, so enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm going to go to a question and answer now, and then I'm going to do the prize draw. So anybody that hasn't put their name in the bowl, please do, and then we'll do the book signing at the end. Okay. Let me just check I've covered everything. Just as an addendum to the book, for those of you that do want to study along the book and work with me, I have a course that's starting in 2 weeks' time. It's based on the book, but I basically hold you accountable to your goals, what you want to do. I know a lot of people, so if it's about starting a business, I can probably connect you. If it's about becoming an actress, I like to connect people. So if you've got a dream, I want to help you get there. And a lot of people approaching me to ask about how did I get the book on Amazon and how did I get to a bestseller. So in 4 weeks' time, I'm going to be doing a weekend course on how I did it and giving you all the information so you can go out there and make it happen. Okay, so if any of you are interested in either of those courses, come and chat to me about the end. If you've got to rush off, just give me your name and say, contact me another time, and we'll get together. Okay, the most important thing is you take action. You do one thing from tonight to move your life forward. Okay, so thank you very much for listening. I love you all, and I really appreciate you coming. It means a lot. And let's go straight for a Q&A. Oh, actually, let me just leave you with one of my quotes here. I've got 3 marked here. You're lucky I didn't go through all of them. Don't wait for everything to be perfect. Start from where you are. Start from ideal. Then believe that providence will move for you. When you make that decision, as I said, you just things happen for you. Because I can't explain how it happens, but I just know that it works, and that's what's happened for me, and I wish the same for you. So thank you very much. To your health, wealth and success. Yes?
I'm just curious as to how much the ideas of Eckhart Tolle and the law of attraction and the type of New Age mysticism, how much has that influenced your book and your ideas?
Quite a lot, especially as I was writing it, because I was manifesting things. I was going to be really good if I could find a book coach. And then this email appeared in my Facebook, speak to this woman. I'm like, where did that come from? And then I received another email, because you have to sign up to be on people's lists. Yeah, I got another email saying it's a 2-week course on how to write a self-development book, and it's free. But obviously, you know, they're pictures, and then you sign up for each person. So all these things started to happen. So you'll find with the book, the first part of the book is kind of like my Amanda corporate. This is the goal. This is where you want to go. Here's some advice on how to get there. But what I've found with the feedback I've got is once people start that and their level of energy starts to raise, their awareness goes up, then they kind of travel with the book, and they start to get a little bit more aware as things go on. So they start to attract things, the right people, places, circumstances as it goes on. I also talk about more meditation towards the end, being able to achieve that quiet time, and again, that's when ideas come in. I got the title for the book by meditating. I got some information on the chapters by meditating. The information just came in. The phrase I actually use is download. So I'd be there, and then normally at 4 o'clock in the morning, I'd be there on the iPod going, okay, whatever. I know some of you are believers in God. I think Jesus is really cool. I also think Buddha's cool. I can't explain it, but the ideas came to me. So I just wrote, and that's why I always say it's not necessarily about me. It's not about the book. It's about the message that's in the book. I mean, if you have to summarize the whole book, it's about love. It's about loving yourself, sending out positive energy to other people, and then your life just works. It's the simplest way I can describe it. So Eckhart Tolle, I read him 12 years ago, and I've been practicing getting into the now for a long time. But as a human being, meditation and getting into the now, I think, can be a challenge for us. But when you do master it, and even if you just eke out 5 to 10 minutes a day, it's amazing the amount of creativity you can get. I did do a 10-day no speaking. Can you imagine me not speaking for 10 days? It was really hard. And it was on my birthday as well. I had a birthday where I couldn't speak. Then I sent my husband on it, and he was like, don't ever make me do that again. But you know what? It was vegetarian food, or you should have said men on one side, women on the other. Can you imagine a whole hall of people on vegetarian food? Can you imagine the noises? You're trying to be really serious, and there's it's all lentils. Anyway, after the third day, seriously, your brain, your ego, I didn't even go into that tonight because, some people might feel it's a bit woo-woo, but you have your ego and you have your soul. And your ego's going, no, you don't want to be in quiet, because then that's where the answers come. So for that first 3 days when you're not speaking, it's fighting like crazy to keep thoughts coming. So you go a little bit mad. But by day 4, your brain just goes really, really clear for a couple of days. And then the last 4 days, this amazing creativity, like book ideas, film ideas, came from nowhere. But the only problem is, they don't let you take pens, or you're not allowed car keys, you're not allowed phones, so I couldn't write them down. But it's amazing the power of your mind when you clear out the noise, because we have a lot of noise in this time right now. The creativity that you're capable of is just unlimited. It's just unlimited. So eke that time out wherever you are in your life. And I have 2 small babies. Find it, even if it's just 5 minutes a day, because seriously, it just improves your life in leaps and bounds. Did that answer your question?
Thank you very much.
Huge Eckhart Tolle fan. Yeah, he's mentioned in the book too. Any other questions? Yes.
Okay, now that you've gone through this transformation and you've seen your success, what's the next step? Okay, you mastered this position, you mastered this point.
Yeah.
How do you determine what your next step is, or what the next goal is?
I have 4 more books in production.
Oh, okay.
I have a children's book based on St. Martin, because we had some sugar birds that were born in our in our balcony. So it's about sugar birds. So that's on the way. I have 3 other books that are also in the pipeline. The one straight after this, though, I think is going to be more about these techniques. So how to get in the now, and how to apply that not just to your personal life but to business as well. Because I think if we apply this in our business, we can transfer a lot of this to our clients. The other thing for me is also working with Nicole DeWeaver. I did some work at the Anguilla Lit Fest as well. I went into schools there and spoke to the children and told them about how to get books onto Kindle. So wherever they are, even if they're in Anguilla, they can take their idea and put it out there. I met a woman whose daughter had made this beautiful storybook, and I said, all you need to do is you need to get really good PDFs of those, professional photocopier, and then you can scan those in, you can format them, and you can turn that into a Kindle book and you can sell it. I said, you can even turn it into a paperback. And she said, well, money's an issue. I said, yeah, but you just need to pay for the photocopies. Getting everything into Kindle is free. Then everything else is, it's profit. You keep the cost down. So for me, it's teaching people how to do what I've done. So I've got a course on that. I can probably turn that into a book, but I want to do the course first to see what people's feedback is, what they're struggling with, what they can do. And I think locally, I have a job here to do locally with women's groups as well. and I'm very passionate about children too, because I have two. And I think we're not taught self-esteem. We're not taught how to be happy with ourselves. And if you think a lot of the youths that I've met, I don't know everyone, but some youths that I've met here, they're not confident in who they are. Their parents are working. They don't see their parents. They're not getting these lessons from their parents, so they need that self-esteem to come from somewhere. Once that self-esteem's in place, they're not stabbing and shooting each other. They're proud of what they're doing. And the one way St Martin has done it quite well is through athletes. Particularly I've seen with athletes that I've spoken to. They've got a direction, they've got something that they're really good at. And I think, I don't know all the schemes that are coming, Prime Minister, but I'm sure there's more of those things that we can do and help. And I've spoken to Nicole and said I'm happy to mentor some of those children as well. So that's kind of the next step. But before I used to plan everything. The first part of the book, which is my corporate me, I used to plan very far ahead. What I found in St Martin is best not to plan too far ahead, because you never know if they're going to be doing something with the bridge, if there's going to, and the thing I've really learned about the Caribbean, which I think is beautiful, is it has slowed me down. I came from London, so I'm used to going 100 miles an hour. Josvik, I didn't even see if you put the slow sign up. Did you put the slow sign up? No. I get so passionate, I go 100 miles an hour. And so when I came here, I had a very fast pace of life. But because of the heat, and everybody's like, yeah, man, relax. You have to kind of go with that. And I was worried that I wasn't going to achieve things because I started to become more laid back. But then when I surrendered and I let go to who I am and where my purpose is taking me, everything just fell into place. But before that, I was really struggling and fighting to get things done. And when I just went, okay, if you want me to get this book out, I'll do it. And things just kind of happened. And I got invited to, thank you to Joe over there, I got invited to the Anguilla Lit Fest, managed to make some impact over there, and things just start to happen. I mean, Sarah's here, so it's just an example. And also Karen, who's super, super busy. So, and Kevin, hi Kevin, from Sinestro, brother. He's, again, just happens to be here from New York for 2 days. So everything happens for a reason. So yeah, I feel like I'm in the flow, if that makes sense to you. So I will go where it takes me. I'm trusting. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
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 Okay.
What I was leading to a little bit was, when you reach your goals, how does somebody determine what the next goal is?
I'm with you.
We've reached these successful goals. We've already reached this pinnacle where I want to be. I'm with you. Now, how do you determine what your next goal is?
After when I go, I'm an Amazon #1 bestseller now.
And then
ego kicks in. Oh, I don't need to do it. I know exactly what you mean, and I have to admit, for a few weeks after this hit #1, I was like, okay, what do I do? What do I do now? Is the children's book going to be #1? Or I have to admit, there was a little bit of a lull after that, because it was like, okay, what do we do now? So yeah, and it is hard because you think, well, I've reached that goal. But I think the thing for me now is it's the other projects, and also to work with bigger and bigger people. I'm a huge fan of Jack Canfield, Chicken Soup for the Soul. He's very hard to do work with. You have to fill out 5 pages of projects. So I'd really like to work with him because he's got a huge reach, especially with children. So that's kind of a little one that's out there. So yeah, no, I know what you mean, because a lot of clients say to me, well, I've reached all these goals, so what do I do next? Sometimes you don't have to do anything. You just got to, just take a step back and see what happens. And that's what I did with this. And then the other ideas for the other books have come in, and I'm getting invites for radio shows, that kind of thing. So again, I'm being steered a little. But yeah, sometimes if you don't have that goal, just listen and see when that next one comes in. But one of the girls on the radio show a couple of weeks ago said to me, okay, madam, now you've reached the success level, is everything perfect? No, it's not. You've got the book there, and I don't pretend to be perfect. Sometimes I raise my voice at my little children because they're being naughty, and I think, gosh, if my clients could see me now, It's not about being perfect. It's just about being who you are, showing what people are really capable of, and seeing how far they can go. Joe, for example, he's starting to work on it's the Anguilla fashion show. Did you say, Joe? It's going to be end of February next year. Fashion Expo, which is going to be based in Anguilla, but it's going to bring in talent from St Martin's, St Kitts. So that's going to be inspiring for young girls that maybe want to be models, fashion designers. So this is another thing that can really get the youth focused, and that's something that I will can I be involved in, and I will help out with that. So again, it's something else to look at. Any other questions? Hey, Sock. Have I seen you somewhere before?
We've never met.
No, never before. Yeah.
Early this morning.
It was very early before the coffee. Yeah.
I've been fortunate enough that I've been able to read the book. Thank you very much. And when I think about the body of work, the question that now comes to mind after I've had time to reflect on our conversation and the book a little bit is, based on your research and where you've been so far, if you could pick 1 or 2 or 3 messages that you want people to walk away with after reading the book to kind of get them to where they decide that they want to be, what would those 1, 2, 3 things be?
Basically, you can do it. Whatever your dream is, you've got to go for it. You've got to go for it. Life's too short. I don't know whether you were here when I had a little thing for Christine. I just said, Christine, and my other friend that I lost a couple of weeks ago, unfortunately. You got to, don't wait. Life isn't a dress rehearsal. So that's probably my biggest key message. I lost my mum to cancer when I was 20. A long time ago. And when you lose your mum so young, it was a real, what's life about? And that's where my whole self-development journey started. And I went traveling for 2.5 years. And the first place I went, somebody gave me a book and went, do you know what, you can create your own reality? And I went, you're crazy. And then somebody handed me a Louise L. Hay book, then the Celestine Prophecy. And then I ended up going down, Tony Robbins and all these other personal development teachers. And the books were always handed to me. And that's why I put this at the front of the book here. Congratulations. However this book found you, you've taken the first step towards the beginning of a wonderful new adventure. Now let it unfold. So it's about the book finding you and knowing that this is your time, because the teacher always appears when you're ready. So that's my other message. And really, just whatever you're doing in your life, just come from a place of love. When you do that, people help you. You get in touch with who you are, your purpose, because you've got the love for yourself. I think I've met so many people that don't just accept themselves for who they are. Some of them are 27, some of them are 72, some of them I had a lady last week who's 57. She called me from the bookstore and said, I need to call you. And I met with her, and she had she'd be happy for me to share. She had 30 years of guilt, basically, and there's no point in taking that with you, because you've got to get it. It's the past. You've got to let it go. You've got to accept who you are. If you're Christian, God loves you exactly the way that you are. Buddhist, it's the same message. Once you get that foundation and you start building on that, everything else works. That's really my message. That's the biggest one. Thanks, Sock. Anybody else? Everybody looks like they need some water. Okay, they're starting to fade with the air conditioning. Thank you again for coming. I really appreciate it. As I always say, to your health, wealth and success, because if you don't have the health, the success is a little bit tricky as well. So make sure you look after yourselves. This is why I'm a big fan of Top Carrot, because the juices here are fantastic. So that's my little plug for them. Thank you again, Sock, for the interview this morning. Anytime you want me on your show,
the doors.
I had so much fun.
It's all
I didn't realise the webcam was on the whole time. I got home and my husband went, you arrived 20 minutes early. I went, how do you know that? He went, the webcam was on. I was going, did I pick my nose? I don't think I picked my nose. Did I pick my nose? I remember going like this a few times to make sure my cleavage wasn't showing, but I only thought that webcam was on for the
Sorry.
I was like flicking through the page. So I can feel I'm going red now. I don't think I picked my nose. So yeah, I know that for next time. Anyway, everybody.
It's all out there too.
It's all out there. Oh yes, if anybody wants to listen to the interview I did with Sock today, it is on Island 92. Was there anything else I had to say for you, Sock, tonight?
It's on the Facebook page,
it's on the Facebook page, so go and hang out. Okay, so you're all free to go and grab some water. There's some bottled water over there. I don't know whether Lydia, Did you do tea in the end? Yeah. And Lydia's very kindly done some bush tea. So go and thank you, Lydia. I love you. So if anybody wants to, if you want to mingle, and I'll do the prize draw kind of as you're mingling. Is the bowl there, Jane? Yeah. Shall I just go and get that now?
In case anybody's not signed.
Is there anybody that needs to put their name inside the bowl?
I'll scan.
No? Okay, I'll just do. Anybody else wants to put their name in?
I'm not sure if mine ended up in there. Did you?
It did.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, everybody that put their name.
Kevin, did you put? Yeah, okay. Just grab the bowl and I'll do it really. I'll get. Would you mind just pulling some names out of the bowl before I let you go? All right. Okay. Where are we? Okay. There we go, give it a little. There we go. Okay, this first one is for a bag. So if it's not for Alain Garcia.
Oui.
Oui, tu as gagné un sac, monsieur. Et pour faire un sommaire, je vais parler avec vous après. Pour sommaire, tu le bien. Pour vous, votre femme. Oui.
Alain Garcia.
Garcia. There we go. This is for a book. I will sign it for anyone. Tadco
That's
book.
you.
There we go. Okay, we'll come get your book after.
I bring you a lot by sitting down next to you, huh?
There we go. There we go. Kevin. You know, there's 2 magnets. There we go. So Kevin.
I can add it to my set.
You can add it to your Sonesta badge, and we'll do one more. There we go. There we go, Karen. Karen, there we go. For the Remax fridge, there we go. They just say "be brilliant" on there, so it's just to remind people to. That was the biggest key message. Be brilliant. If I have to summarise absolutely everything. Brilliant. Okay. If anybody wants to come and get bookmarks or cards, they're here as well. And I'll just go straight to the book signing. So go and get your bush tea and your water. Okay. Thank you for coming. Thank you.
And we'll be in touch. Okay?
Okay. Thank you for coming.